in this video, we continue with the anxiety because of pleasing people. Let's talk about the energetic part of pleasing others. Why do we do that? What mindset does that require? Again, I want you to go back in your childhood and look at your family. How much did you have to please them? Were you able to be good enough? Because people pleasing comes with the feeling that I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough as I am, and I'm always worried. Am I good enough for the other? Am I pleasing the other? Or I'm questioned, I'm put in danger, I'm not safe anymore, and I want to survive. I need to survive because I depend on my parents. I depend on adults. So I learned that pleasing people makes me feel safe. The problem is that you grow up, and when you grow up, you become independent. You're supposed to become independent, but you're not independent. You look out for pleasing people. You attract people who would hold you accountable, who would question you, who would be jealous, who would be negative, who would drain you, because you are used to pleasing people. And you need that gratification. You need that reassurance that who you are and what you do is good enough. You need to belong. You don't have the sense of independence because you were depending on your parents. So what you need to do is you need to disconnect. It's a process. It's self-work. It takes techniques. But you need to disconnect. You need to create your own bubble. You need to be able to assess what other people say to put it in the right place. Is that true? Or is that not true? I want to make this easier to understand through my own example. So I was someone who was basically surviving childhood, who was never good enough. And I was always trying to please my parents, hoping that I'm recognized, hoping that I'm good enough, hoping that this is okay. But it was never good enough, and it was their way of controlling me, their way of making me submit to them. But as I grew up, what they kept on saying is, I'm not good enough, I'm stupid, I'm worthless, I'm not gonna make it, I'm not lovable, I won't be able to make money. And that all kept stuck with me. Basically, my life so far was about me trying to prove that I'm good enough, that I'm worthy, that I deserve what I deserve and what I long for, what I dream of, because I didn't give myself permission to achieve my goals, and I always gave up because deep inside this inner voice told me, no, you don't deserve that. You cannot make that. You cannot get so far. So basically, I was the one who sabotaged the process always. And then I had to decompose this process and look at what do I believe, what are my fears, and push myself through and double check my mindset, my reactions, my emotions. And it was a very strong and deep fight with myself to make it to success. So I grew up and I was attracting the same people, dominant, abusive, negative, evil. And I kept myself in the game, basically. Like, I have to prove again and again and again that I'm good enough. And it felt a sense of win, a sense of success whenever I could prove them wrong. So what I kept on seeking was people who were more and more powerful, more and more influential, more and more successful. And I always proved them wrong. And it was me trying to prove them and prove myself that I'm entitled to have what I want to have in my life. But this was a very silly game. This didn't lead me to build connections based on love, mutually uplifting connections, I was usually attracting my enemies. I got into the same victim I was in my childhood. Oh, he or she is my enemy. It hurts, and they are just jealous and they want what I have. They're negative and they drain me. They want my energy or they cast spells on me. And I had to deal with a lot of mess, which basically made me stronger and stronger. I was stuck in this game justifying that I'm good enough. And you cannot imagine how much anxiety I had along this process. It felt like a drug to my system that, okay, I'm attacked again. I have to fight again. I have to watch out again. I have to prove again. And still, this is a good case because I was aware to a certain level and I had tools and techniques what I could work with. But most of the people don't fight, they give up. There are those who fight and they are very aggressive and they can be very masculine, just like I was. But there are those people who are very submissive, who are very people pleasers, and they are not willing to push through. They are not willing to stand up for themselves. So they are in a helpless situation. And when you are in a people pleaser mode, you give the power out of your hands. You give the power in the hand of another person. Or let's say you care too much about your looks. And that makes you so busy that it takes all the attention from more important things in your life. Because of your looks, because of what brands you wear, because of who you belong, and that's very shallow. You are in a people pleaser mode. It has nothing to do with abuse, it's just a habit. Okay, I'm pleasing people. You can be very insecure, and that comes with anxiety. You're always full of doubt, which decision to make, which choice to take. And you are so scared of taking responsibility because taking responsibility puts you again in a power position. And you don't want that because you're afraid to fail, because you're conditioned for failure and you don't have this strong mindset that I can do this. I can deal with failure. I still have a winner mindset. So you are full of anxiety and waiting for others to take responsibility for you. But sometimes they don't take the right choice. Sometimes they make the wrong decision that is not good for you. So the strategy is you make them the guilty and yourself the victim. But at the bottom line of it all is this fear of power. You long for power, you long for a power position, but for that you need to take responsibility and you're afraid to take that. Then you can see a lot of people pleasers on social media. We want to be in the center of attention, and usually we want this the easy way. We are in our mind, stuck in the mind, and the mind is greedy. It's like a big brain eating up everything, and I want more likes, and I want more attention, and I want more extreme, and I want more beautiful. This is why, for example, some people cannot stop with plastic surgery. I still can be even more perfect or more feminine or more round, more beautiful. And it's all coming from me wanting the attention, me trying to impress people at any price, basically. And many of the times, if you ask deeper questions, you realize that a lot of these people hate the way they are, the normal self, the normal body, the normal hair color, and they are running away from who they truly are. So what they do is they put the power into other people's hands and they please them with the hope that they get the like, they get the attention, they get the reward, but they depend on others. And yes, they are willing to go even to extremes to get that attention because this is never enough, because the root cause is not healed. And there's a very weak personality deep inside, full of anxiety. But if you look at the fun, if you live on the surface, if you follow others, and if you please others, you can forget about what's going on deep inside in your soul. Reality can be very ugly sometimes, and it's very hard to figure out the way to find a purpose, to get the right attention. But an attention with the right appreciation for true values that you provide to society, for example. This is a harder way to go. People don't understand the significance of these life lessons, so they choose the easy way. They just want to feed their monkey brain. They don't care about the heart, they don't care about the soul, and then they end up in the wrong tribes. They end up with addictions, with drugs, with alcohol, addicted to fun, addicted to sex, addicted to looks. But then my question is, if you take everybody else out of the picture, there's a blank page. There's a white room, a blank page, and you're standing there alone. What would you say about yourself without makeup, without clothes, without plastic surgery? What would you say about yourself? Who are you? Do you deserve love? Do you love yourself? Do you embrace yourself? Can you define yourself by yourself? Or you are still waiting for other people to define you, or you consider yourself ugly, not deserving love, not deserving anything. The main problem is that during childhood, we are defined by other people. Again, we grow up and we still accept the same thing. Our mind is conditioned for the same mechanism. We still wait for other people to define us. They tell us who we are. They also define us through the magazines, through fashion, through the main trends in the world. And we try to keep up and we follow up because we want to belong. So we please others because other people's opinion matters so much. And we are in this instant existential anxiety that we try to feed, but deep inside we lack self-esteem, self-confidence, and proper self-love. So when the wind comes, we don't stand strong, we are blown away. And of course, this comes with a lot of anxiety. Now you have to take the power to do your research. Okay, here I am. There's a lot of options in the world. I can craft myself. Who do I want to become that makes me feel precious, loved, appreciated by myself? That makes me confident without all those people around me. As you create those values inside of you, which is proper mindset, proper self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-love, you take care of your body. You take care of your mind, your mindset. You educate yourself. And you set yourself goals. How do you want to live in 1 year, in 5 years, in 10 years? What person you are looking for? What would you do as a job? And if you don't know, you do your research and you learn things. You go after your curiosity. Otherwise, this very intense world in this monkey brain will eat you up. You need to take control of your life. You need to take control of the process, which means that you need to learn, you need to fight, you need to expose yourself. You need to set up goals to get out of your comfort zone. And to get to a point of full confidence, you need to work a lot on yourself and do study and have life experience, do travels, get to know people, date different types of people, try yourself out in different environments, study different kinds of things. And then you get to know more and more about yourself, about the world. You need a routine. You need to work on yourself on a regular. You need to maintain your mental, emotional, physical health, working out, meditation, self-work. What do you do for yourself? And now I know, as usual, most of the people feel lost and feel helpless because you don't know where to start. And without a plan, you will get confused and you will get lost. You need to pick one thing and go for that. What do you want to learn? What is the first and smallest routine you can have in your life? And it's very hard from this being and feeling lost mindset, being all over the place and having no control over your system, over your life, to get somewhere. But still, you have the rest of your life and you cannot waste it. There's a lot to go for. There's a lot to explore. There's a lot to learn, understand. Life is amazing. Life is truly beautiful. Beyond your shit. Beyond the mess that you come from. When you understand those life lessons and you don't try to avoid them anymore. You have your routines, you have control in your life, you create yourself a life on your terms. And it's very hard. It was very hard for me as well to get to the point where I'm at right now. But I don't want to keep my mouth shut because it can help a lot of people. And I want to live in a better world. I want to see a better world. The rest doesn't impress me too much. I can have whatever I want in life. And I'm good with that. I'm good with the material stuff. I want to see change.